Oops, I did it again. I wanted a fight, got lost in my wrath.
Hey folks, MasakoX here. This channel is quite clearly built around the idea of formerly not so good characters getting a chance at redemption, either through hard graft like with Raditz, or with the example of Frieza, coming to the conclusion over time. Dragon Ball's overall vibe, at least to me, is that if you are a baddie with at least some kind of decency, mercy or moral compass, you will most likely end up on Goku's side in the long run in some shape or form, which is unique to you. But what if that never happened with the likes of the Prince of all Saiyans? What if the need to turn good was never needed? Had he gotten what he wanted at one place in time in the story, Earth's population would have been no concern to him. And instead, he could set about what he originally wanted, and nothing that we see in Super would ever happen. And Veggie Boy here would have been just as bad, never turning good. Back in the Namek saga, there was a flashpoint where Vegeta's path to redemption way further down the line would come to fruition. Him helping the Dragon Team out against Frieza so he couldn't use the Dragon Balls. He was a mutual enemy, was the linchpin in his change of outlook in life, in fact, to stop Frieza getting immortality, and of course thusly ensuring that he himself would never get it. But here in the story, he does get immortality, and once he has it, he exploits the hell out of it, and ultimately powers up through attrition and Zenkai boost to the point where Frieza gets blasted into pieces. After that, he essentially throws the Dragon Team aside by offing Goku, and then telling them to back off and things will be fine. But it's never as simple as that, is it? In the last part, Broly tried to stop his out-of-control boss from coming to Earth and endangering the planet for no good reason. Despite this though, Vegeta was determined to bring the planet into his line of focus, and the fact that his General Paragus, Broly's dad, had broken rank and gone to the world meant that he was compelled to press on. He had no choice.
Oh, sorry, my hands are tied.
And at the same time, realizing that their agreement with the Emperor was now moot, Goku and the others set out to revoke the wish of immortality on Vegeta by liaising with New Namek when it was clear that Shenron was just not powerful to do it. He couldn't do it himself. But that also led to Yamcha gaining temporary immortality to aid the cause. With New Namek having the ball in its court right now and Vegeta slowly turning into the being that he had once hated, Frieza, our heroes are waiting on bated breath to see whether their slug friends had come through and found the Dragon Balls in time, and what may happen going forward. With Goku having landed the first blow, Vegeta's position was crystallized. He had gone too far now to go back. There was no going back. He had to finish what he had started, and this planet had to be extinguished for his empire to truly thrive. No more distractions, but that would come in good time. With his immortality, he actually could wear these clowns down, and then see their faces as their home was ripped from underneath them. Oh, that would be far more satisfying and worthwhile instead of just blowing them out outright after such a long journey too.
I let you have that, Kakarot, but I'm afraid I have to tell you that left no mark on me. You used up your free pass, and now I will show you all my true power.
Vegeta powered up, and up, and up, but no sign of golden hair emerged. Not even golden sparks. It seemed like the Emperor hadn't discovered Super Saiyan. Not discovering it through accident or through theorizing, not at all. Or was this a bluff? They wouldn't put it past Vegeta to do this though, to give them false hope, that they stood a chance in fact and then just take it away from them when he felt like it. The group were left feeling apprehensive. Piccolo searched Vegeta's energy, trying to see if he was indeed holding back, but that would take a while. However, a sudden power came about which threw him and everyone else off for the time being. Yamcha had arrived, and he was looking surprisingly confident, like he wasn't in the least bit scared of the fact that Emperor Vegeta the Madman was right here, and he was throwing himself into the direct line of sight of the Emperor.
Well, if it isn't Vegeta, what brings you here, my liege?
Vegeta scoffed at the sight of Yamcha.
Ha! What's with all the bravado, human? The last time I met you, I distinctly remember that you couldn't even handle a singular Cyberman. What's changed since then?
Oh, a lot of things, retorted Yamcha. I'll be more than happy to demonstrate. He got into his signature stance, and this unnerved the Emperor slightly. What sort of trick was this? Had Yamcha gone mad? Was this Patsy serious or something? Oh well, it was interesting and it might elicit a laugh or two whilst he was toying with these Earthlings. Why not? They began their battle, and sure enough, Yamcha had gotten stronger. But Vegeta was still the better of the two in terms of brute strength. Piccolo had resumed his searching of Vegeta's energy, and Goku was starting to do the same, as Yamcha kept on going, and going, and going, and going.
What was going on? What's your deal? Why have you not tired or showed signs of injury? My power greatly outmatches yours. Explain!
Yamcha laughed. Come on. Don't tell me you don't recognize your own cheat sheet, sire. He pointed to his chest. Here. Aim right here. Krillin and the others yelped in shock. What was he on? Vegeta gladly took the opportunity and fired a finger blast which went straight through Yamcha's torso and out the other side. I mean, sure, it hurt like a mother, but Yamcha bore through the pain, and a few seconds later, he smiled. He felt his cells and organs regenerating and the whole shrinking. The crowd stopped and stared, Vegeta looking irate.
You're not
immortal? Yeah, I am. What's the matter? You scared? Vegeta gritted his teeth.
A fool's errand. All you've done is stall for time. Stalemate at best. But you're not my only target.
Yamcha then resumed his barrage on Vegeta, and this is when Goku started to realize that things weren't looking so bad. When the fracas had slowed slightly, Goku stepped into Yamcha's side. It's okay, Yamcha. I got this.
But Goku, he might be holding back. You need me for this.
No need. He's not. Vegeta couldn't stand being out of the loop.
What in the world are you going on about, Kakarot? What trick are you pulling this time?
No tricks, Vegeta. Just a question. Have you heard of Super Saiyan? Vegeta pondered his answer carefully, but then smirked.
You're looking at it. Can you not comprehend the sight of the legendary Super Saiyan before you? I know it's a little much for your tiny little minds to come to terms with, but I am the pinnacle of Saiyans past and present. Nobody comes close.
Yamcha looked to Goku, and then back to Vegeta. Who's going to tell him? Goku mentioned for him to do so. About that, Vegeta. You're wrong. You're very wrong. Vegeta ignored him, so Goku chose to demonstrate by powering up to Super Saiyan. The golden aura exploded into view. His hair perked up and turned just as golden. Goku's energy skyrocketed and eclipsed Vegeta's own. The Emperor was floored.
How is this possible? I am the legendary Super Saiyan, not you!
It is a legend. This is actually something that any Saiyan can achieve when they put their mind to it. Something of which you failed to do. Now, you will pay. He rushed forward and gut-punched the Emperor. That's for killing me after we helped you. Vegeta recoiled onto the ground. When he looked up, another face met his. Broly's.
Sire, this is a battle you cannot win. Leave this place. I can stay here and ensure that they don't get in your way. Believe me.
Vegeta grimaced and then immediately blasted a hole in Broly's chest, sending everyone into shock.
Nobody tells me what to do!
Broly flew backwards and collapsed, unconscious. Paragus leapt to his son's side and berated Vegeta with profanities aplenty, but the Emperor was not listening. Goku and Yamcha got into position. Big mistake, said Yamcha, and the two of them leapt in and took on Vegeta together. But the Emperor was not tiring, as to be expected. But this unnerved Goku. It clearly was that the wish hadn't been made yet. This was bad. Sure, Goku and Yamcha could keep together and keep Vegeta occupied, but there would come a time when their energy would wane and their limit reached. Yamcha couldn't carry them both, Goku would fall back, and that's when Vegeta would pounce on them. And then, whatever it was, it wouldn't be good.
This has gone on long enough. I don't care what power you've come into, Kakarot. It cannot outclass my own immortality. Soon enough, you will falter, and when you do, I will eviscerate you for a second time, and this time, I will enjoy it even more.
Goku wasn't moved. He knew he had the upper hand for the moment. He just had to make use of that and hope that the Namekians would get the wish done soon. The 2 versus 1 thing persisted, but as it was to be expected, Goku began to tire and Yamcha was having to front the charge more and more by the second. Sure, he could just keep going on and on and on, but having a Super Saiyan on your side, a real Super Saiyan, was handy. Soon enough, Vegeta grew weary of this, not out of being tired, but due to the fact that he was getting bored.
Enough! You have made your point. I clearly cannot truly end you the old-fashioned way. If what the Namekian said is true, then I may as well go all the way. Why not?
He walked back to his pod, as if he were just to leave. Not as simple as that, though. "Where are you going?" shouted Goku.
It's none of your concern. All you need to know is that it will be all over soon,
he said before entering his pod. But something wasn't right. The Zenny dropped, but the gang couldn't stop him. It was too late. The pod rised off the ground and headed skywards, leaving the atmosphere. Inside, the pod was gathering speed, and Vegeta was ready to do what he did to Alia here. He smiled and congratulated its ingenuity.
Nobody need ever know my lapse in judgment. I am still the legendary Super Saiyan.
But before he could pat himself on the back even further, something caught his attention and caused the pod to stop moving in midair. That wasn't right. I mean, he hadn't even reached the ionosphere yet. He looked outside and spotted a Saiyan holding the pod in place. Broly. His eyes were white with fury and its hair sparking with green energy.
Vegeta, I warned you,
the creature said through gritted teeth.
Broly, cease this fruitless jabbering. Do you seriously wish to perish alongside these vermin? What a waste of your potential.
But Broly didn't respond with words. He shouted some more.
I warned you!
He then started to push harder into the pod, the metal buckling under his palms. I think you know where this is going.
Hug.
Vegeta could see the pod's interior distorting, but he didn't worry. Let the child tire himself out, and then he would sadly have to put him out of his misery. The frame kept on buckling, and he still wasn't panicking. But it was starting to get a little cramped. Then it started to hurt. That was not what was meant to happen. Vegeta was getting a little nervous.
Broly, stop this! I order you to stop!
The pod kept on being squished, and Vegeta was now trapped. He couldn't feel his injuries healing, nor could he focus anymore. The pain was so bad! Why is his immortality failing him? Then it hit him.
Curse you!
He shouted before there was no more room to breathe, and Vegeta's body was crushed completely, and he was no more. Broly then, not able to squish it any further, dropped the oval-shaped pod, and it crashed to the ground in a crater not far away from the group. However, Broly was still mad with ire. But this is when Paragus whipped out his remote control and activated the collar. In an instant, Broly contorted with pain, and after several seconds of this, blacked out. His body crashed to the ground in a heap, but he wasn't that badly injured.
I did not wish to do that, but it was the only way we could be safe. The only way to stop him going mad completely. I'm not proud of it, but when he comes to, he will be alright.
Goku looked seriously at him and at Broly. We can help you with this. Help you cure Broly of this pain, but only if you trust us. I've got friends and allies that will be more than happy to help. You and your son deserve this. He offered his hand, and Paragus, after some thinking, took it, and they shook on it. After that, Piccolo looked to the sky and smiled.
Took them long enough. They got the wish done in the nick of time. A few seconds more and then... Ugh.
He trailed off as everyone else knew exactly what would have happened. In the days that followed, word got back to the Saiyan Empire homeworld that Vegeta had been slain, and much like how Paragus had anticipated, the Empire collapsed. The allegiance to Vegeta was that of just convenience, and now that he had been offed and expunged and no one was really kind of following his own lead, there was no real compulsion to stay here anymore. Those that had left their homes to join his army simply went home. Everyone went back to their lives prior to being drafted and set about their next chapters in life. Vegeta's legacy had simply just dissolved. There was no real glue keeping it in place without him being there. Goku asked Paragus whether he would like to take over as emperor, but the old man laughed that off.
No, it's better for the remains of Vegeta and Frieza's empire to rot. Yes, there will be those who seek to pick at its carcass, but that has nothing to do with me. I am through with being in charge of armies and men. All I want now is to live with my son in peace. Somewhere where we can just exist how we see fit.
Goku smiled. Like I said, we're open doors. We can also get your boy calmed down. I've got a guy on Yard Rat who can take a look at him. With that, Goku took Broly to Yardrat to help calm his furrowed brow, and ensure that not only would he regain his faculties entirely, whatever mood he was in, but also that he wouldn't actually need the collar anymore to ensure his control and everyone else's safety. The Empire crumbled beneath its own foundations, and the Dragon Team now had further help in their mission against the androids. However, this is actually where we end things, because it's become perfectly clear that if Vegeta never turned good, it wouldn't end well for him. All thanks to his ruddy hubris and primitive assurances that he was the ultimate Saiyan. He believed in himself too darn much. So what do you folks think? Did you like this story? Do you feel that Vegeta's actions lived up to his archetypal framework? Leave a comment below and let's get this discussion going. And I shall see you in the next video. Catch you later!